Ever wanted to make your own MegaMan style music? Today we're breaking down how to write a level theme based on the AirMan stage from MegaMan 2. So get comfortable, relax, drop me a like as it really helps support the channel, and let's get into it. So I'm going to start by just listening to a little bit of the reference track, which is going to be MegaMan 2 AirMan today. I do like this track. I'm going to not listen to too much of it though, because I don't want to be too influenced. So I'm going to get our sound up. That's sort of a bit like the sound that was just there. How about that for an intro? And I'm using the M1 synth again, as you might have seen in some other videos. And that's going to be like a counter line. Next, let's put some drums in. I think we can do the same thing again with the first part. All I've done there the second time is raise it up an octave, which you can easily do in Logic up here, but you can do it in pretty much all DAWs just by raising it by 12 semitones. It's quite a cool little bass line. Let's just join it together and show you what's going on. So it's just going to be the root note of what I was playing with the chord. And there I've done octaves on the bottom bit, just to give it a little bit of texture. Same thing again. It's just literally a hi-hat pattern with a crash at the top, and it's just on every other beat. No, it's not. It's on the offbeat as well as the beat. Let's keep the drums very similar for the next section, but let's vary up the sounds a bit. Right, first the bass. Yep, so I'm just literally going down chromatically for the first three notes. So we're going A flat and G, and then we're jumping down to F and then down to D. It's kind of a bit like a drum and bass thing. Oh, I like this sound. So now I've just added a little string part. You can see I've just started it on the offbeat there. So there I'm going A minor. And I'm going down to G. And then what's this next chord? I'm going to E minor, but with a, that'll be E7 or E minor 7. And then E6. And finally a D minor, I believe. And just a slight variation the second time round, but the same chords. And just to keep it a bit fuller, let's have that second half of it do something sort of similar to what we did before. That's just a lead sound, and actually what lead sound is it? I always like that one. That is the Neuromance sound. Sounds quite cool, and it's just literally me jamming on top of it. This is called call and response, so I've got the call part. And that's a response. You can have a look at those notes if you want. Yeah. If you have any ideas for more videos like this, then please leave a comment below. And if you could give us a thumbs up and maybe subscribe if you like this sort of content, then I would greatly appreciate that. Right, new section. Now I'm going to start with the bass. I'm just going to make it a bit more frantic than what we had before. So we're going to have octaves the whole way, starting from A. just to give it a little bit of drive for the next section. And then put down some chords. And those chords are just A minor, F, D, and then finally that's a G chord, isn't it? Yeah, just that. Okay, here's a little melody. So the same thing twice, but just on different sounds to keep it varied. And as you can see, what I've done at the beginning there for this melody, I'm just starting a little melody from A, but I have added a little pitch bend here. So this is just going to bend up into the note. Pretty simple little melody. Yeah, all I've done there is use the same chords on the strings and just copied and pasted it over to this new sound here, which is going to be an arpeggiator. And then just added a melody which looks like this. So I don't think I'm going to play this live for you. I suppose I could give it a go. Yep, something along those lines. Just a little flick at the end on the last little bit, as you can hear. It's just, hopefully my head's not in the way. Cool, and let's go on to a new section. So just some chords down, and I've just gone for like a happy bit. Because we're in A minor, I've just done the relative major, which is just C. Something like that. And then, yeah, just that. Nice and simple. Sounds like very 80s music. And let's put a melody on top of that. So I've played something a bit similar, but not exactly the same as the synth chords that we just played, and it goes like this. And the second time around, it's just slightly different. It sounds, I don't know, maybe even 70s, that sound. And of course, copy and paste, but then vary it up the second time around. Yep, that is just a very similar line, but we have changed the sound, and at the end I have done a little run up here. So let's play that again just so you get the idea. Again, just to give it a bit of interest for the listener. And what else can we add to this? Let's bring those strings back down the bottom. No, the arpeggiator actually down the bottom. Here we go. Right, I'm thinking of like a half-time section here, so let's see what this sounds like going into it. So just half the tempo essentially, just to give it a bit of a different feel and a little melody. Do like that sound. So we've got like a pitch bend on the keyboard that we can use to play that in, but let's show you, if you were to program it in, what's going on. So you can see that the notes are getting pitch bent occasionally. Just gives it a bit more texture. And I think just adding that arpeggiator from the previous section, just to keep it like together, because it sounds a bit hollow going straight into it. So let's see what that sounds like. And how are we going to finish this? Let's have a think. Right, I think this is going to work. I think that's probably a good place to stop this piece. Let's see if it loops around. All I've done there is copied and pasted that lead line we just had 3 times for 3 different sounds, and then at the end I've cut out the drums, and we've just done this descending bass line, which is just literally going, what's that, F, E and D. Yeah, so I think that's good enough, isn't it? Right, brilliant. Okay, if you want me to make any other songs like this, then put your request down in the comments and I will do my best to make a piece of music just like this based on the song that you want. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Please comment, what's it called? Comment, subscribe, leave a like, all that, and I'll see you in the next one.